Okay, it's the middle of July. We're going to take a quick look at the garden here. It's looking good. So we have our tomatillos here. I've just been focusing on trying to make sure the plants are healthy. I haven't really looked much for fruit, but there is one forming there. I'll need to look and see exactly how big they're going to get before we start picking them. But I'm just happy that the plants are still holding, because they were some of our late arrivals here. The Romas are doing fantastic. So you can see we've got some red ones, or ones turning red. So we've got a bunch of them. Here we have picked one that wasn't quite ready, but still pretty good. But we've got many more that are going to be ripening up this week. So pretty excited about that. Here's our 4 red okra starting to put out their first true leaves. And then our, what is this? Birdhouse gourd has popped up, so that's exciting. And then our green beans here are doing really well, starting to grow up. Some of them are hitting the top here, and going to be done. Others are still working on it, but they're all getting up there, and they just find their way around. You can see this guy's coming up to here on the thing, so we'll see how far they go. See how well this works with a shorter fence for them to grow on. But I'm really happy with our other beans here. So our Scarlet Runner beans have put out their flowers again. Like you said before, last year they did not like the heat, and all of them pretty much shut down. But now they're, maybe because they're in the shade back here, but they're doing great. All of these ones, you can see the tops of the plants. There's several plants that have grown all the way up there. Haven't produced any beans or anything, but they're still growing, and that's just my main focus with these guys. So, and in the back here, these are our different kind of paste tomato called a Health Kick. We did harvest. It's funny, they all look very green, but from the back side I noticed one that was red, totally red. So we harvested it. We haven't eaten it yet, but we're pretty excited about that. And there's lots and lots of tomatoes. These plants are very short, I guess. I don't know if that's how they're supposed to be, but that's what they are, and they're gonna be heavy producers, it looks like. We also got our first tomato from a couple different one of these. One of these was these guys right here, these little yellow pears. They were just tiny little yellow ones, perfectly yellow. Got those, and then I got one that's a small grape tomato, I think, from there, maybe a Juliet. And there's something that's, these ones are here, there's one of them down there that's starting to change. I think these are the San Marzano, but anyway, it's just exciting. We're getting some tomatoes. And that's always good here in the middle of July. So our asparagus, still ferny. I don't think it's going to grow much more, but it's still surviving and producing a fantastic habitat for ladybugs. So our squashes are doing great still. I have went through and I didn't actually find any squash bugs yesterday, which either means they're good at hiding or I wasn't very good at finding them. But our yellow zucchini is doing great. We're finally getting some yellow squash, the straight neck here. Harvested a couple of those. They weren't very huge, but I just want to get them. You can see a big little bee down there, but there's our fruit. Still doing well. The patty pans still doing good. Kicking out some fruit. The zucchini doing well as well. And then we have our first eggplants forming. So these two are both green variety eggplant. I think this ones are the Thai Kermit, just a tiny little ball shaped, and these ones are called Masigo. And you can see it right there and right there, just a green eggplant. So something different there. And our Cajun bells are starting to turn orange over there. So hopefully that we'll be able to eat those soon. And then these guys are, all 4 of these were ones that were the late transplants, and they aren't looking too hot. All the leaves you can see are yellow. I'm trying to put out some green leaves, but this guy hasn't moved much at all. So we'll have to really hope for the best, but maybe not get the ones so late in the season for transplanting, because I don't know what it was. It could have been that the plants were too big or it's too hot. I'm not sure, but do not seem to do very well with these big plants. So our corn's looking fantastic. It's probably as high as it's going to go, but we're starting to get some good ears. There's the silks there. See the ears starting to fatten up too on a lot of them. Some of them still have immature ears, but it's very cool to see that all those are formed up there. Alright, let's get over here. So with the spring garden stuff, some basil, some different things, onions and carrots and whatnot. So it's still going. We did pull out the, let's see, what did we pull out this time? The kale. It was just covered in aphids, and so it wasn't really happening there. So we just pulled that out. But we still have some of the chard and stuff in there, and onions. And then in our peppers, I harvested the 3 of the sweet cherries here. Once again, this is one of those later plants that isn't looking too healthy, but the fruit ripened up, so I pulled it off there. These bells are looking fantastic. We're starting to get, I'm guessing these must be poblano by the color. And I'm guessing maybe that's Big Jim over there, the long waxy one there. And those, I believe, are the mariachi. They're big, but they haven't started to change color at all. So we'll see. Basil's looking good. We got some sweet banana peppers. The okra's starting to get bigger, and I sprayed some of the aphids on them, so hopefully they'll start to produce. And there's a good looking healthy okra pod there, so hopefully we'll see those soon and be able to enjoy some of that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's one healthy okra over there. There's still little aphids on there all over the place. Man, it's such a mess. Anywho, that's it. So we harvested a bunch of peppers this week, and a few tomatoes. You can see a bunch of the tomatoes turning red from this side. It's pretty exciting. And of course a bunch more squash and stuff like that. So had a good grilled squash yesterday. It was pretty awesome. So anyway, things are going well. Haven't had any squash bug kill any of our plants yet, but we'll see. So that is it for the oh, there you can see, I don't know if you can see, they like to hide. There is a little tomato right there. Like I said, they like to hide in the bottom where you can't see them from that side. But anywho, that's why it's nice to be able to have access to both sides. Sometimes they're totally hidden from your view. Anyway, that's all the garden for this week, and we will see you next week.